Back to Cheddar's opening bell. Well, scammers are cashing in on the crypto craze. According to a new report from the FTC, fraudsters have stolen more than $1 billion in crypto from 46,000 people since 2021. That's 1 out of every $4 reported lost to scammers paid in cryptocurrency, more than any other payment method. Now, here are some insights. Here with some insights, I should say, is Chris Pierson, founder and CEO of BlackCloak. So, Chris, this is just disappointing, sad news. As soon as we're trying to encourage people to go and learn more and get on crypto, they hear all these stories about people being scammed just trying to get your payments, get your money, or invest in it. So, why are these scammers choosing to go after people in crypto?
Well, I mean, very simply, that's where the money's at. And what's great about this is, from a cybercrime perspective, there is no centralized government that's in there. There are no regulators that are in there. And so when you actually are able to perpetrate a scam, which is what we are mostly seeing, when you're able to perpetrate a scam and actually convince someone to give up their cryptocurrency or to go to a less reputable or shady exchange, that is pure cash coming back into your wallet. You have that asset. You now have won that as a cyber criminal. And it's all about the scams, The losses in the FTC report just go ahead and highlight that issue very clearly this year.
Wow, and this really comes at a volatile time for the crypto market. Bitcoin has lost more than half of its value since hitting its peak of $69,000 in November. So why are scammers still targeting crypto investors even as the market is crashing? We know that, as you said, the money is still there. So is that just the basis of it? They just want the money?
Absolutely. I mean, look, these are digital assets that are going to appreciate over time. Same thing as like gold. Gold might be valued one way one day, but then within a year, within 10 years, be valued differently. The fact of the matter is that cyber criminals are reaching out via social media, via text, via other campaigns, phishing emails, as well as even through the phone. And they are targeting people. And they don't have to look too far. They don't have to worry about whether someone has it or doesn't. If they actually do have it or are interested, they're able to get them into an exchange that they control or take their money in the process of helping them go ahead and get into crypto. And now is going to be the burgeoning time, because whereas other people didn't have the ability to get in or get as much Bitcoin or other types of cryptocurrency, just 4 or 6 months ago, now the new ruse is going to be, hey, you can buy 5 times as much, 10 times as much right now. This is a great investment. Get in it while it's low so that you can get out while it's high, but you have to act now. And that rush to act is what cyber criminals are taking advantage of. And most of these things are related to scams, grabbing people into fake investment opportunities, romance scams, all the rest, all through social media, all through other types of direct reach out communications.
Yeah, you make a good point there, because according to the FTC, they say the same thing, that nearly half of the people who are reporting these losses in crypto are scams, to be said, on social media. Why are they using social media as a way to target people, especially when, you just think you're going on to check your feeds? And I noticed that they're hacking other people's accounts on social media, then reaching out to you as if you're a trusted friend. It's like, oh, my friend's telling me to do it, so it must be okay.
Yeah, kind of two things there. Let's talk about each. So real quickly, in terms of cyber criminals trying to reach out through social media, that's how a lot of people get their news these days. They get their news, they look at it. The first thing people do is wake up in the morning, go to their trusted social media platform, look at what their friends are doing, look at what's going on in the news. And that is a great vehicle by which cyber criminals are able to directly communicate with their intended victim. There's no third party involved, right? Unlike the banking system, no third party in there to kind of say, ooh, we really don't think you should be entering into this, or you should be thinking about it this way. So they're able to go ahead and influence people there to click on the ads, learn a little bit more, be very, very helpful, and then go ahead and take their money and run. So that's not what you want to do. The second thing is, just to your point, people's accounts are being taken over, either email or social media accounts saying, hey, I invested in this. You should too. I made so much money. And that's a trusted communication. But people aren't verifying that via the phone. They aren't verifying that Jenny or Bob or Larry, their best friend, is actually really invested and is really communicating that way. These are all compromised accounts, pretty much because those accounts have been taken over. Those people are using weak passwords. They don't have dual factor authentication on their social media accounts. And so it is an absolutely phenomenal way to get others co-opted into that scheme unwillingly, unbeknownst to them.
Yeah, it almost happened to me. I had to call my friend and was like, I don't think this is you communicating with me, but they literally were responding to all of my personal DMs to them. So be careful out there with this. And I know that something is trying to be done. President Biden just signed an executive order on cryptocurrency back in March, calling for more of a broader review of the digital assets. But what impact has this had on the crypto market and to the potential for more potential for scammers?
So the White House last week, to your point, on Wednesday went ahead and released an executive order. It covers 6 different items in terms of studying the impact of cryptocurrency, understanding role of national security, understanding the anti-money laundering aspects of this. But really poignantly, the first thing was consumer protection. The problem with that is that cryptocurrency is an unregulated, decentralized financial investment. Government is not involved. So even though the government is planning on studying this, looking at the scams, all that they're really going to be able to do there is educate individuals. They are not in the flow of that transaction. And so unfortunately, not too optimistic on the ability for them to be able to stop anything. The governments around the world and the U.S. are not involved in any of those cryptocurrency decisions or those transactions. And accordingly, they're not going to be able to play a role really in terms of making sure people don't lose $1 billion in 5 quarters.
And maybe that's the way some people say of trying to get more regulation put in place and not make it decentralized. Because like, oh, we're helping you, but we need to monitor you. And so in a way, it's like the government trying to hack into your stuff too. But I won't go there. We'll move on and talk about what else can be done to make crypto investments more safe for the scammers, from scammers.
So let's talk about 3 real things that you can do. First, do not invest, do not click on, do not research any cryptocurrency accounts or wallets that you're seeing on social media that you get in through email, you get in through a text, or you get in through a phone call. If you want to research cryptocurrency and wallets, go ahead to your favorite browser, do the search engine, and figure out some of this on your own in terms of what is going to be the best avenue for you to get involved in cryptocurrency. So research it yourself. Do not trust anything that is incoming, even from, just like you pointed out, your quote unquote, your friends. Second, if you do have a cryptocurrency account, it is absolutely imperative that you secure it by using a secure username and password that is not used anywhere else, but that's only going to get you about 10% protection. In order to get 99% protection, you have to have dual factor authentication on that account. It's going to be a text message that comes to your phone or some other type of authentication, digital authentication token. Must have dual factor authentication on there. And then third, only go ahead and take communications from companies or communicate out to them that you initiate. So do not respond to any incoming emails, text tweets, even if it's from the cryptocurrency or the wallet that you actually have chosen. Only communicate when it's you initiating it to the website, to the phone number, to the URL, to the email address that you absolutely know is them. Those are 3 things that will keep you safe.
And never, ever, 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 ever share your keys with anybody.
Your keys are the keys to the kingdom. Whoever has that key owns what is in the safe, period. There is nothing anyone, government or anyone else can do to get it back if you share that.
There you go. All right. Great advice, great information from Chris Pierson, founder and CEO of BlackCloak. Thanks for joining us.